Thanks a lot for staying with us. This is Politics Tonight, where we dig beyond the headlines. And I've been speaking with a former commissioner in Delta State's Oil Producing Area Development Commission, Public Political Affairs Analyst Sekeni Okolugbo. And tonight we're discussing the task before new Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Sekeni, I would like us to focus on the NDDC for the next few minutes. I mean, this is another interventionist agency for Niger Delta development. How do we ensure collaboration between the Commission and the Ministry for Effective Development?
Okay, the truth about it, like I rightly said, is the new board that has been announced by the president has a lot of people with a lot of experience. You look at the chairman of the board, Mr. Chidebia, who was the former secretary to government of Delta State. He had a whole lot of managerial experience. He was a former commissioner also in the state. You look at the Oboko, who has not only, at least for the period he has managed NDDC, we really cannot say there is no will, there is no sense or no drive in trying to ensure that the NDDC becomes quite focused. So it behaves on the fact that this board is not, we should not also have the same issues the former board that they have had. Once the Senate resumes, we expect that with everything being equal, there should be a speedy clearance of these board members and an inauguration of the board. When the board has been inaugurated, it will now ensure that the NDDC will have a holistic change in the approach. Like I rightly said, we have not used so much of the bottom to top approach. But I believe this board is one that has come to the youth experience. I might not set the template or the agenda for this board, but I have seen those who have been nominated. You really cannot fault them. I use the Delta people as an example earlier. Like I said, the former speaker, don't I desired my Ndokwa person had become the person who was appointed. But the former speaker, you cannot fault him being the representative of Delta. And so you also have others who come with a lot of experience. So what I expect this board to do is to also learn from the mistakes of the former board and for them to be able to put their name and entrench it in goals is to immediately, first of all, start completing abandoned projects. Because the worst thing you can do is when you start your own project and you want to own your project, it's better you complete those that have been abandoned. These abandoned projects will then enable the people to have a sense of belonging. That can now free up funds subsequently for you to embark on your own project.
So why do you think this appointment of new board for NDDC attracted protest in some states?
Can you come again?
Why do you think this appointment of new board for NDDC attracted protest in some states?
Attracted to?
Attracted protest in some states. Why?
Okay, why there's no appointment you will make that there will not be protest. Look at me, for example. I'm talking to you here. You heard me say Ndokwa a couple of times. Much as I have praised the composition of the board, I still desire if someone was taken from my federal constituency because we have never had a federal appointment and we have never been on the board of NDDC despite our huge contribution to the nation's resources. So if you are hearing me sound like this even when I'm praising the board, that should tell you that how do you expect others to feel? But you see, like I rightly said, there is no appointment that will not come with people protesting. People will always protest. People will always complain. A lot of people will feel, oh, this man was not a member of APC, or even if he was a member of APC, he did not perform enough, he did not put in enough. Look, the issue here should not be just APC. What as we know that this is an APC government, I think what the president has done is to look at those who can give results, and he brought them on board. So we should not continue to play that politics of only those who are in our party. But being from our...
All right, Sekeni, if you can hear me, still talking about collaboration between the Commission and the Ministry for Effective Development. There are arguments about the ministry being a distraction for the NDDC because of unholy interference. Are there really overlapping functions? Sekeni, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, I've been speaking with the former commissioner in Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission and Public Political Affairs, and this is Sakeni Okolugbo. All right, Sakeni, so still talking about collaboration between the Commission and the Ministry for Effective Development. There are arguments about the ministry being a distraction for the NDDC because of unholy interference. So I'm asking, are there really overlapping functions?
No, I don't think they are overlapping functions. Like I rightly said, you have a chairman of the board now. The chairman is going to act as a check and balance to the managing director, who is the chief accountant of the commission, the executive directors, projects, and finance. And he's also going to act as a check and balance. The board will act as a check and balance to those who are representative of each state. Don't forget too that you have people from the Accountant General's office. You also have some people from the north who are also expected. You have somebody from the Ministry of Finance. You have somebody from the Ministry of Petroleum who are also supposed to be members of the board. And don't forget, most importantly, the Board of Trustees is the 9 governors of the Niger Delta State. So this synergy will be such that I don't think you think it will be a case of the ministry having this overbearance on the NDDC. The board should be check and balance. What I expect the minister to do is to supervise, to ensure that the board is doing the right thing. You know, the minister also has his other areas of duty. Just like I gave you an example, the East-West Road, the areas he has to intervene in the 9 states of the Niger Delta. But that does not mean that it is only the NDDC that the minister has as a parastatal that is under him. So I don't think there are overlapping functions at this material point in time, especially now that you have a board in place.
All right. So you will agree with me that there can be no meaningful development without collaboration with the people. How can this be enhanced in the region?
Yes, the collaboration must be one that has to be done without devoid of politics. Like I have said before, the 9 governors of the Niger Delta have to be carried along in each of the states. When you go to the state of the governor and you don't inform them that you're carrying out projects, you rightly use the word overlapping. You find out that you start carrying out overlapping projects, or you start carrying out projects that do not impact on the people. So you have to carry the governor along. When you carry the governor along, he'll be able to also give an idea of areas where he has challenges, and you'll be able to also find out areas where you have to carry out a development project. Because what the NDDC is supposed to do is to make up for the shortfall of what the oil-producing areas are not able to get from the national treasury. And so that is exactly the basic functions of the NDDC, as much as it's an interventionist agency. So when there is this collaboration, it will make you carry people-oriented projects and enable you to also know what the people want. That is what the collaboration will help you achieve. So when you remove politics out of it, you are certainly going to succeed in each of the states that you are going to visit, which already has a representative on the board. And it is expected that the representative of the board should be able to also tell, even before the visit of the board or the managing director, the areas that need urgent attention of the commission.
So how can the youth be carried along in developing the region?
Can you come again?
How can the youth be carried along in developing the region? Because as we know, youth involvement is also critical.
There's a special advisor. There's a position that is made for the special advisor of youth in the NDDC. And I believe the minister too would also have special advisors. Now, the youth are the most critical people in this area. You understand that most of the youth are unemployed. The statistics before now was 33% of unemployment. And the idle man is the devil's workshop. These youth feel shortchanged. Some of them feel that most of the oil from their area those funds are frittered away and used to develop areas other than their areas. And so there's always agitation. So the special advisor that will be appointed should be one that will be all-encompassing by the NDDC, and also the one that will also oversee the Ministry of Niger Delta to carry and fashion out empowerment programs and training programs that will genuinely look at the youth, if possible, carry out a database in the 9 states and be able to pick them in areas. If it is amnesty, if it is in areas of welding, if it is in areas of marine technology, if it's even in universities and other places that the youth can function and make them now productive, then those are too backward, or rather are those who are educationally disadvantaged. You cannot carry out empowerment programs to enable them find the means of sustaining themselves other than going into criminal vices and other ventures that will enable the area not develop. Because more importantly, one thing you must accept is when there is security, that is only when you can have development. And the youth are very genuine when it comes to the issue of security.
All right. Let's talk about the new administration, which is now 3 months in office. How will you describe the journey so far?
Well, for a lot of people who did not think that Bola Tinubu was going to perform, I mean, even his greatest critic would accept that he has set the ball rolling. But the issue of fuel subsidy has made it very difficult for the common man to survive. We must call it spade a spade. Now, a lot of people have also thought that the palliatives have been delayed. But he has put templates in place now, and we now know that 5 billion has been released to each of the states, which has not been done in the past. And the fact that subsidy has been removed has increased, most people do not know this, has increased the PAC allocation for each state. Each state are receiving a whole lot more than they used to receive because of the removal of fuel subsidy. He didn't take that into consideration. He still released 5 billion. So what I believe they should do is to carry out this palliative so that it can reach the masses. Let us not just be getting palliative, because a lot is on the shoulder of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, and because the register they say they are going to clean, it is not to pay this service to it. It is to ensure that this register is clean, and our fathers, our mothers, our great grandmothers at home get this money that they are supposed to be getting every month, and they are able to see the impact of the buses that are going to be bought. People are able to enter these buses without paying or subsidized rate. This way, you can tell that there is a genuine cause to see that his agenda.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Kenny.
Is taking off.